afternoon, Justice Warriors. I'm so happy to see you again. I'm telling you, it's hard for me to go the weekends without my folks here. I love doing this. So I took all of Saturday off. I did that little one yesterday with like everybody in the house. I actually scheduled it at 1 o'clock, knowing that everybody wouldn't be in the house. And then they had to switch their schedules around and not tell me. So anyway, on with the show. Um, hey, GOP, Nick and Larissa and Caleb, thanks you guys so much for being here. It's such an honor. So, yeah, and especially Larissa, who came in the last couple of minutes this morning. It's terrible to have to hang up. I did check out your 3-minute live last night. I don't know. Oopsie, sorry. I don't know if you tried to get back on and finish that. Hey, Sifa. And I also got to see your stuff. So let me read. GOP Nick says, "Oh my God, I missed the last live, but it came up in TV as on, and now I'm jokes early for this one. So turning on the ringer, patiently waiting for this one. Oh, Larissa, you're so sweet. And Justice Warriors on deck. I'm on a roll today." And Dilly says, "I sure do enjoy everybody. Squirrely Burger. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. I might be in and out. The Red Rum trial is on right now. Ugh, Alex Murdoch. I am imagining what a horrible person. So, word on the street is that everybody in his state hates him and his whole family. Just saying." And that's been for a long time. But, it brings up a good point about people that are untouchable. I have a feeling that these roommates in the Idaho 4 might be like some untouchables. Like I made a joke earlier about like the Hamburglers in the Reno area, Northern California, and like the Murdochs. Or hearkening back to the Martha Moxley case in 1975 with Michael Skakel, who, as you guys are aware, that his mom was Edith Kennedy Skakel, his mother. Anyway, let's just get on with it. Oh, and yeah, that whole Martha Moxley case, I did do some in-depth studying of it a couple of years ago, and it is quite fascinating. I think that the alleged perp who's served a lot of time for the crimes, Michael Skakel, his mother had just left his father, and I think there were 5 boys in the house, and I think that the dad and all the boys were raging alcoholics. I don't know about the mom. The dad had hired somebody to look after the boys. This young man, I think he was like 23 years old, and this incident with the next door neighbor happened on his first day there. Like, talk about bad luck. So, that really messed up his life, being part of that whole thing. Anyway, don't want to get sidetracked by that. Want to stay focused. Focus. Squirrely Burger says, "I live around here, just on the other side of the border in North Carolina. Is a good old boys club, is rotten to the core. Thanks for letting us know." And I'm in Ohio, where there's a lot of that. When I lived in Seattle's a whole different game. That area wasn't settled until way after East Coast and Midwest. So it's different. I'll just say that. The wild, wild west, if you will, right? I mean, that's like what we're dealing with here in Idaho. Um, Larissa says, "I'm sipping tea today. Justice Juicy Tea, LOL." I just have water in my thing, and I am not sure what was going on with my throat. I should have had some hot tea, but I thought that maybe I'll just have to keep it a little bit short if I get the frog going again. I don't know what it is. Maybe just winter. Um, so yeah. Caleb Lee says, Ahoy, Xena, GOP, Nick, Dilly, and everybody. Heavenly Clouds, I do not red rum anyone or anything. I even let flies out. LOL. That's cute. Hey, Miss Amir Zaza says, Justice Warriors and Jazz, 2 lives today is my lucky day. Just got the power back. Awesome. And see if I can tag that one. Fred Field says, just put replay and of Britt J's first night live to catch this. Um, Brett J, I'm not sure who that is. So, you guys, I thought of something. Why does my brain have to do this? No, I'm really proud of myself for having a brain that functions some of the time. You guys are gonna die when I tell you what I just thought of. And I literally just thought of this like half an hour ago. Okay. We have our 8 hours after things happen in the 1122 King Drive residence. We have our first 8 hours of the investigation totally pissed into the wind, right? We talked about that, I think, on Friday. And then we have 4 hours more after 911 is called before this corporal finally gets there with his buddy and gets a walkthrough. 4 hours, you guys. I honestly don't care if that guy was out of town and had to get back to town. That's effed up. That is so effed up. So now we're looking at 12 hours gone of the first 24 hours. Half of the most precious time to the integrity of the investigation is pissed into the wind. And they could have avoided that 4 hours. What I know of the hierarchy of law enforcement, a horrible incident like this, you would have a supervisor covering the weekend that would not be allowed to leave town. And when something insane and hideous and huge happens, you would have sergeants, captains, police chiefs at the ready. You would have everybody good to go. So this department, Moscow PD, and I'm not going to apologize for challenging them on this, they gave up 4 hours, 4 freaking hours. Okay, we don't need to do the math anymore. Can you believe that? And what I can't believe is that it took me 2 months. Wait, no, two and a half, almost 3 months, you guys. It took almost 3 months for me to put 8 and 4 together to make 12. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Michael McAllister says, hey, everyone, and thank you so much for the notification from Justice. All right, it's working. I'm so excited that I know how to do that now. I can't believe that it took me so long to figure it out and that I didn't ask anybody. Like the male driver that won't ask directions. But nobody wants to tell you how to do stuff on YouTube because it's a pain in the butt. It's hard to explain it to people. So that's incredibly suspicious, especially considering there were 8 previous hours unaccounted for. Exactly. So, yeah. And they might not have known that right off the bat, but even so, you have a quadruple homicide. You don't want to take your freaking time and you want to get your top employees on there. The police chief, James Fry, said himself that the department has, and let me quote him, 94 years between themselves, which is the misuse of the word between, because between implies two. And I'm pretty sure he meant amongst themselves. And I don't mean to be a stickler about that, but that between and amongst is one of my little peeves in language. I don't have a lot of them, but that's one of them. So 94 years, sorry, brain, no function. It functions and then it stops. Um, 94 years of experience, and they got the guy with 4 years experience too in their department. Like, at the most, he could be 5 years out of the academy, at the most. And he was so far away that it took 4 hours for him to get there. That's suspicious, you guys. I have major concerns with this flippin' investigation. I really do. Okay, let's read up with you guys. Like, it could have taken the FBI 4 hours to get there to help out, but not just the police investigator. And right, and even the feds, they would respond quicker than that. A quadruple homicide, I would think. Um, Heavenly Clouds, that is a lot of hours. I still think some lives might have been saved, in my opinion. Right, and we don't know, and we'll never know. I mean, I agree with you that some lives could have been saved if Dylan would have called 911. So I want to catch up with you guys. Dylan, Dylan, we'll get back to that in just a second. Okay. Um, Helping my grandmother, technology over the phone across the country, and it's difficult, but it's possible. Patience, my friend. Right. Luckily, I have people in my household that can help me. Can, but do they? I don't even like to ask them because they can be so rude about it. Let's keep the 7.8 earthquake in thoughts and prayers, please. Thank you. That's so sweet of you, Caleb. Absolutely. Let's focus on that. Why don't we? Oh, I can't imagine the turmoil. And you also reminded me to do my spiel. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn a few things. And I hope that it's educational. That's my goal. I make my videos specifically for YouTube, and YouTube is an entertainment platform. I feel that Chief Fry seemed nonchalant about this whole ordeal. I have never seen a chief smiling when talking about 4 red rooms. Awful. I see your point entirely. Drugs and the distribution is key to this case, Alistair Grant says. I love everyone here, such kind people. Absolutely. We do have such a good group. Thanks so much, you guys. Hit that like button, Dilly Owen says, please, and share and subscribe if you will. Um, Allegedly with Brittany J was last night the live I was watching. Thank you, Fred Field. I really enjoy her show. She's one of my favorite creators these days. Um, so Dylan, did you guys know? I caught up on some of the videos like Harsh Reality, and the other one I think was True Crime Design. Dylan texted or called all the roommates when she heard these noises that made her all scared. Do you guys know? Did she text or did she call? She tried to contact all the roommates and then just left it like that. Um, Purportedly, the families are asking Dylan about why it takes out 8 hours to dial 911. Thanks, Caleb Lee. And that's where this information is coming from. I think it was a Daily Mail news article that has, I think, these really old posts on Reddit from Ethan Chapin, Chapin, from his sister-in-law, which I don't know how that works because I didn't know that there were other kids in the family other than the triplets. But anyway, um, the source has been vetted, and she is stating that she knows that Dylan made attempts to reach everybody and was unsuccessful in reaching anyone. Maybe she reached Bethany. I don't know. I do not know. Um, My 12-year-old granddaughter says, "Oh, grandma, when helping me with tech, I say, be nice, Diane." She remains silent. Yes, my 15-year-old is my computer whiz in the house. But, all the kids these days, and my husband too, they're all very good with computers. I just, not so much. I know we're trying to stay on topic here, but NATO did very passively threaten Turkey last week. Interesting, huh? With now the earthquake. Are you making a connection there, Squirrely Burger? You just never know these days, do you? Why it took 8 hours and right, I think had she called 911 when she didn't hear back from any of the roommates, that things potentially could have been different. Thanks, Sifa, you are so on it. He is so good with the facts, just the facts, ma'am. So, I think she called and no one answered. What if he threatened her? Well, and she's such an unreliable source with her stating that she goes into this full frozen shock phase. That could mean that she has intermittent memory loss, right? I mean, serious PTSD usually involves a memory loss. So she might remember some things and not others. She might have, I don't want to say delusions, but she could have had hallucinations. We just don't know. We just don't know. From Sarah, allegedly, Sarah is married to Eric Chapin. Awesome. And so Eric, is he like the older brother of the triplets? Is that how that works? Because, like I said, I thought that it was just the triplets. I didn't know that they had siblings. So they were, the triplets were born in Seattle. They were originally in an area called LaConner, or right by LaConner, Mount Vernon, Conway. It's all like one and the same, but that's where the tulip farms are. So that's where they lived, and where they first started working on tulip farms, the triplets. And then I think the whole family moved to like Priest Lake in Idaho. And then they also have tulip farms in that area. So I don't know if the family, if that was like something that the kids were thinking of doing as a business, because all three of the triplets worked on the tulip farms. And they are so pretty, you guys. If you've never seen tulip farms, it's just spectacular looking out over these fields of, it looks like paint. And you get so many inspired artists with like drawings, photographs, quilts, paintings, you name it. I mean, it's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I love it. We lived near there. My first three kids were born in the Seattle area. So let's see. Sifa is superb with news also. And I also wanted to let you guys know, please don't be shy about dropping links in the chat. If there's not a mod to copy it and repost it so that you actually get the link. I'm really happy for you to bring up other channels or bring up your own channel. I'm more than happy to invite that. So please do. So if you wanted to drop a link for something, I could try to copy and paste it so that it would be a hyperlink. Okay, so there's another sister. Look at Sifa. He is all over it. There's another sister named Nicole, but I can't recall the husband's name. But Eric is a half brother to Ethan. Really good to know. And I think that there is a half brother to Kaylee Gonzalez too, right? A half sister. Is that accurate? Do you know, Sifa? So done with it. Says Ethan has an older married brother from dad's first marriage. Awesome to have that information. Thanks, you guys. It's nice. I just like having a full picture of what's going on. It helps to understand everything. I do not believe this frozen state of shock, in my opinion, Heavenly Clouds says. I'm just buying the whole Dylan thing less and less. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. Um, I found it imperative initially to protect these survivors, these victims. And I'm just feeling a lot less compassion for them as the facts are becoming more apparent. I think a lot of us are. We're just fed up. Um, and Squirrely Burger says, I mean, it's a real possibility. They say that the first earthquake hit very close to the HARP station there in Turkey. Wow. Yeah. You just never know. You never know. That would be insane if that was something done like that, man made. Caleb Lee, so done with it. Hi, may I ask, why are you so done with it? Don't you feel that way, Caleb Lee? Just so done with it? If DM was in shock, how can she call for people? Just saying. Exactly. And did she get a hold of Bethany? I really want to know what happened with that. That would be a lovely job. I could do it all day, Squirrely Burger says. Are you talking about being in the tulip fields? I've never really thought about that as employment. But yeah, I enjoy gardening so much these days. I could see that being a really cool job because, yeah, all three of the triplets loved it. So, they named a field of mixed yellow and white tulips, Ethan's smile, in his honor. They wanted to design a tulip like a special color for him, but they knew that it would take too long. And then with white and gold or yellow being the school colors for the University of Idaho. I find it interesting too that the University of Idaho, like their mascot is the Vandals. You know, I mean, I think it's cute in a rebellious kind of way, but it also is like a vandal is a criminal. So I just think that's interesting that they're, affectionate towards vandals. I find it interesting. Um, I don't know about that, but I can look, Siffa says, and I'm not sure what he's referring to. God, it is so confusing when I go back and forth. What is a mod? Alistair Grant, a moderator is like True Crime and Crochet or Crime and Crochet or my hyper focus. See how she's blue and she has the little wrench. So she helps with the technical stuff. So yeah, Crime and Crochet, I had asked people to drop their channels or links if they wanted to, if you don't mind, if you see any, to copy and paste them so you can make them hyperlinks. It's Alistair, it's a channel moderator. Okay. I never did find that channel, Gigi. Oh, I did find the Gigi channel, and I'm so curious about her. She just started her channel this month, and she just has the 2 videos, and then she's got a handful of shorts. She's very interesting. I don't know, I don't want to run with it because I haven't seen the document, but she's saying that she has this letter that the school wrote to the criminal defendant, basically kicking him out of school before the semester was over. Is pretty fascinating you know, if it checks out, if it can be vetted and confirmed. And I'm also very curious how she got a hold of it. Because that kind of personnel stuff, they could definitely keep under wraps, especially with this investigation. So, yeah, I'm very curious. Um, what do they do? This is all new to me. Oh, they're like on troll patrol. Basically. I remain neutral on Dylan. I think much will be revealed in the trial that will be more positive towards her. I don't know. I mean, I'm afraid that, like I said, that her and Bethany might be untouchables, like the Murdochs, like the Skakels, like the Hambricks, um, like the Sammy Smiths. I just don't know. So if she's an untouchable, then yeah, certainly the trial will make her put her in a more positive light, but that doesn't mean that it's genuine. Shoot, I need a mod, Larissa. So the way you make somebody a mod, I can email you. It's pretty easy. Um, let's see. Heavenly Clouds, Squirrely Burger. I know these evil people can do almost anything. I learned years ago how these people can have control over any vehicle, helicopters, etc. Are you talking about the earthquake? Is that it? Heavenly Clouds with that comment. Arctic Fox True Crime just sent me a notification that a 13-year-old girl, Zuvada McBride from Chicago, Illinois area. Oh, how sad. How awful. Um, and yes, I was, where was I? It jumped on me. I apologize, you guys. So, yeah, True Crime and Crochet. Why do I want to call your name True Crime and Crochet? Is my hyper focus. I know it's just Crime and Crochet is my hyper focus. Um, so that's so nice of you to offer that for Larissa. No brother for Kaylee. Kaylee comes, she's like the middle of five. I thought that she had one brother and three sisters, but one of her sisters is like a half sister. I'm pretty sure she has a brother, but I know that you're really good with looking that stuff up. Um, Michael McAllister says went missing, the 13-year-old. Oh no. And Chicago is such a dangerous area for that. Dylan is becoming more and more suspect. She should locate Nicole Kessinger father to be her handler. LOL. Sweet Melissa, you're funny. Ugh. She is one of the most dreadful. That NK. I don't even like to say her name. Yeah. Let's see. And Crime and Crochet are my hyper focus. Thank you for dropping Larissa's channel. Awesome. You guys all, if you like Larissa's channel, you can subscribe and support her. She does a lot of good work, especially with domestic violence. She's covered the Kylie Rodney case and, of course, this one. Um, I would help you, but I'm no good at it, Squirrely Burger says. Does anyone think that Dylan is borrowing a page out of Sammy's playbook? Caleb, I think you might be onto something there. And again, so Sifa's link too, you guys. Check out Sifa's channel. He's doing excellent work. Larissa says, I get victim blazers in my lives at times. Victim blamers. I like the way the typo made it victim blazers. That's even better, isn't it? Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And yeah, when you are a content creator, you're sticking your neck out, you have a target on you, and you're always going to get the critics that are going to want to shoot you down. And you can block them if you so choose, or just give them warnings, tell them that that's not going to be tolerated. Yeah, I don't enjoy having to block people, but I also am not going to let the trolls get me off track. I have my brain that can do that for me quite well, right? I call BS, but that's just me. Sophus says, and Gigi, is that BK name on Twitter? Not sure. And you're talking about the letter. Let's see. We got more links. Oh, cool. Is that let's see. Blamers with the Z. Very cute, Larissa. Victim blamers. Yes. And so I see now why it wanted to change it to blazers, because it looks like it. Whacking those trolls with the hammer. And Alistair Grant, good afternoon. Many things come your way. The earthquake. Yeah, let's pray for all those folks over there with the earthquake and the cleanup. It's just so sad. Hold on, check this out. The defense cannon will attack and shred Dylan's story. Absolutely. I saw it on a channel now. I don't know. It was his account on a Twitter and then shut down. I will try to find it. That's not a half sister, the one from TikTok. Steve contacted us when I was still a mod on another channel and he said she's not related. Oh, good to know. See, that's the problem with internet rumors, huh? How ridiculous. Crime and Crochet, you're added as a mod. Thank you. And Caleb says Sammy Smith's testimony and confession should have been used against her in Kylie Mae Rodney case. I totally agree. Poor Kylie. I think those of us that care a great deal for her are going to continue to fight for her no matter what. No stopping. I'm pretty good today. How are you doing, Cricket? And Heavenly Clouds, does anyone think DM has a strange look in her pictures? Pictures with Kaylee and others, just asking. Well, so she's 21. She was misrepresented as being 19 for a couple of months, which, maybe that was an honest error, but maybe it was an intentional manipulative error. I find it odd that she's got lip injections that look pretty obvious. To have that kind of plastic surgery at that young age. Her father, I think, is an anesthesiologist. So maybe, he was able to get it done for the insider rate or something. But still, I just think that's kind of bizarre. So she does a lot of like the duck lip kind of poses for her photographs. But I think what you're asking is more like a jealousy look. Is that where you're getting at, Heavenly Clouds? Um, because I mean, all of those girls are such gorgeous, like just drop dead gorgeous. And we all know there's competition, right? We all know that girls get competitive. There's only one channel that I really can't watch, but I don't want to say, but I'll say he investigates and where is a stupid looking hat. Dilly, there's a few channels that I've just had it with, and I'm not going to name them either, but I appreciate you letting us know. I think I know exactly who you're talking about. And Sifa says, oh my God, all the time. I just ask them why they're still here and wasting everyone's time by posting their comments. And then I say, have a good day and roll my eyes and move on. I like that. That's a really good way to handle it. Absolutely. I'm still perplexed about that troll, the last troll that I think I saw in here, which was like an entire month and a half ago. I want to say it was just a few days before Christmas, right? And that nasty, like all the experts know it was an incel, you're behind on this or something. And remember a few weeks ago when I was talking about it, wondering if it could have actually been the perp. And then I was trying to find it and I've never been able to find it. And it's just driven me freaking crazy. And I did not block him. I absolutely did not block him. I thought I did, but I didn't. I gave him a warning and he didn't say anything else. Anyway, yes. Busy cricketing. Yes. Are you doing your crocheting? I love to sew. When I'm watching videos, I love to sew. It's so relaxing. And as you know, with my sociopath hat that I'm not wearing, I'm wearing my little justice hat with the fox that's reading a book. I love that. And the wizard hat. So silly. So silly. Anyway, back on track, right? Sammy Smith, testimony and confession. I must have missed something. I think it's figurative testimony and confession. Just, all of the, like when she said things like, I have her completely. You remember that one in her initial Tony Dodge interview? Oh, that was so awful. Those days. Yuck, 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 yuck. What Sammy Smith's testimony and confession? I didn't get it why Gigi doesn't show receipts if she got them. Instead, she chose to read it. Yeah, Miss Mirzaza, that's why I'm kind of holding off on anything. I would say check out her video, check out her channel. She is very new, and she's doing things her own way, and that's great. That's commendable. And we'll see over time if the letter's legit, it'll make it to News Nation and all that, and then we can give Gigi lots of feathers in her cap. So basically, Gigi is showing the dates that the criminal defendant was notified that he was not performing well in his doctoral program, and then having meetings and being put on a performance improvement program, and then let go from the school, basically, like fired from his uh, position, kicked out. And if it's legit, the dates on it coincide with things like Buddy the dog and potentially the situation on November 13th. So yeah, I'm very curious about it. I would like to know, and I would like to get a copy of it myself before I, you know, say too much about it. But definitely check out Gigi's channel. And I didn't put that link in yet, but I still will do that. So Caleb Lee says, Larissa, no means I am personally blaming Dylan. Right. I wouldn't go so far as to blame these survivors, but questioning them as for why they were calling friends, why people were coming over to the house, and what were they doing? And where are all the other latent footprints, or not latent, the ones that you can see with the naked eye? Where are all the footprints? That's what's really getting me. um Facts prove otherwise. Fred Field, the interview said it all. And oh, right, I knew it was odd looking. You are so good, Zena. Yes, some unkind looks and strange lips. Um, yeah, and again, I mean, they're all just such drop dead gorgeous young women. It's phenomenal to have a house full of hotties like that, really. I'll just say it, right? I mean, of course, they're gonna garner a lot of attention. I'm late, was cleaning and forgot. Hey, Pixie Knickers. Cleaning is always good. It's just endless, isn't it? Um, Caleb Lee. Okay. There's a movie out there called Troll, and it's nice when you guys are all nice to each other. Let's keep it nice. I remember her talking about being with Kylie all night at the supposed party, but I don't remember her confessing about unaliving Kylie. Right. Unless that I have her completely, that might have been a partial confession. Wouldn't the college have said that when the news came out, though, if that was true, since they were so quick already to wash their hands of him? Right. And it could be that it was supposed to be kept under wraps. I think that that's what Gigi was saying, was that it was leaked, that it was supposed to be kept under wraps because of the active investigation. And yeah, the college did make a public announcement that he had no affiliation with their school, and that he was not in the doctoral program. They said that pretty much the second he was arrested. But all of this happened before he was arrested, and it could be that they knew things as things were developing. And, again, you've got the Wazoo police chief, was the police chief over at Pullman PD, that had interviewed with Koberger in April of last year. So yeah, it's entirely possible. I'd not be surprised if the two surviving roommates don't testify. There may never be a trial. Well, Yeah, there's a lot of reasons that there may never be a trial. I mean, part of this whole process is like playing chess or poker, where, they're trying to back the defendant into a corner to confess, right? So, um, if they do that, and if they can get a plea deal, um, you know, I mean, that's usually how these things go, like with Chris Watts or, even, BTK, right? That was all, that didn't go to trial. Dude, think what you will. I'm done talking about it and so done with it. I don't necessarily think Dylan is involved, but I do wonder if she was hiding something and cleaned the crime scene to cover her tracks. Strictly my theory, not proven with facts. Well, I think there's a lot of theorizing because we're being left out in the dark, and that's what happens when facts are not shared. Then the public speculates because people want answers. People want to know how to keep themselves safe. So I was watching a News Nation clip, staying up to date with all this stuff today, and they talked about one of my favorite books, The Gift of Fear. And I thought about sharing that with you guys again in the discussion this morning about traffickers and, with like the zip ties on the rear passenger door. Reading The Gift of Fear, I feel like, is the best thing any of us can do for our safety because it just teaches us how to sharpen our spidey senses. Um, a new movie named Rabbit Hole. Coincidence? I don't think so. So done with it. I totally agree with you. Miss Amir Zaza says, yes, everything out of Washington and Idaho looks like BS to me right now. I hear you, Sifa. I agree. Their wonderful transparency has really helped me see logic and reason behind the case. I'm with you on that. So done with it, Alistair Grant says. So yeah, if what Gigi says in her video about all of this trouble that Koberger was in with his academic department, it would be interesting, and it would show that not only was he not good with street smarts, that he actually was no good with academic smarts either. And it wouldn't surprise me, but we'll wait to see, right? Um, oh, right, Safa. I knew that that was extreme sarcasm, but it's always good to be sure because it's hard to know tones with text, right? Um, and when I saw the trailer, it's like they were talking about people like us. Well, I try to stay out of the rabbit holes and yeah, the whole conspiracy theory thing. So to go anything against the status quo can be called those things when I think that sometimes the status quo is BS. Like in this case, with this law enforcement losing an additional 4 hours on top of the 8 hours. So they're down 12 hours. And then they say that this latent Van's shoe print corroborates Dylan's flimsy story that makes no sense at all. Oh, but there's a shoe print, so now it does make sense. Like that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah. Um oh, tomorrow morning, you guys, 9 a.m. Crime Circus Cult is doing a live on this case. And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys in my um I had assumed all along that the DoorDash food with Xana's name on it was for Xana. I mean, we were told that Ethan was asleep, basically. Um, and then over the weekend, I thought, there was probably food in there for both of them. They were probably both awake. They were probably eating. So we'll see on the ticket eventually, if this goes to trial or in the discovery, we'll see on the ticket what was ordered, but also in the autopsies what food is in their tummies. So, you know, just wanted to share that with you guys. Fred Field says, Caleb, I am on your side. I just don't think I saw the interview you mentioned. I think Sammy is guilty of at least being an accessory to Kaylee's unaliving. Well, and I have to agree, Fred Field, absolutely. Moscow might as well be named Narnia at this point. That's a good one, Sifa. I agree. Yeah. You're very sweet and kind, always, Squirrel Girl, Michael McAllister says. I didn't see Squirrel Girl in there. Or I don't know if you're talking to me because weren't you calling me Squirrel Girl? Squirrel Girl. Weren't you calling me that a couple of weeks ago? Caleb Lee will watch it and have to think things out. Don't detectives do this? Bat ideas around? Well, and sometimes, they know for sure what they know, but they have to find the pieces of the puzzle to lay their case together. And honestly, that's where some dishonest cops have planted evidence when they've known somebody's guilty, but you can't do that. You cannot do that. If the evidence isn't there, you have to just go with the way our court system works. If the evidence isn't there, it's not there. So, if a cop is ever going to plant evidence, then you can think that it's always a potential. So that's a huge problem. And yeah, a lot of times I think that they do know things and then they need to substantiate what they know. And then defense attorneys can really turn that around too and accuse them of having the tunnel vision of, thinking that they had their perp early on and then not looking down other avenues. So, yeah. So, basically you have to leave no stone unturned is how the detectives have to work. And, us armchair detectives, we just do what we do, what satisfies us and keeps us going and keeps us focused, feeling like we're, helping ourselves. Or honestly, in this day and age with this whole platform, I think that law enforcement does pay attention to it. I mean, they talk about it enough, right? That PCA is around 5% of what they have. Yes, usually that's the case. 10% maybe. One shoe print out of all that chaos going on in that house. So unbelievable. That's where I'm coming from, Heavenly Clouds. That's exactly what I'm saying. I hope to God it's only 5% because my faith is not there. Right. I mean, he looks so guilty. He does look so guilty, the criminal defendant, but I am not convinced. I'm certainly not convinced that he acted alone. And that is what law enforcement is making the narrative, that he did it all by himself. I just don't think it's possible. Not with people being awake. And Crime Circus, he might be Crime Circus, he might be as well as, I can't even read this. I'm sorry, Dilly. Hold on. The words are jumbled. Crime Circus, he might as well be making stuff for MGM Big Movies because he has something with those videos. I don't know if it was my brain or what. I'm going to read it one more time. Crime Circus. He might as well be making stuff for MGM Big Movies because he has something with those videos. Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I mean, he has a whole crew of people. He gives credits to like 50 people at the end. So yeah, I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, he's got how many subs? Over 250,000. Cray cray. I am late for a very important date. Oh, don't be sorry. Nice to see you here. So yeah, we're just getting towards the end, you guys. Um, uh-oh, yes, Sifa says Andrew Furman comes to mind, but I think you meant Mark Furman. Ugh, yeah, we can't mention that name. Um, I'm sure that's who you meant, right? Because he lives in Idaho and yeah. Oh, and the bloodied love, the planting. So yeah, I mean, LAPD did a lot of planting of evidence. So that whole thing was a shit show, a cluster. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Fred Field says, yes, thank you. Um, always getting it done. And sofa detective, I'll have you know. I love it. The couch potato detective. There you go. That's cool. Yes, no stone unturned. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Love that saying. Don't discount the fact that there could be a lot of manufactured evidence so far. Right. Oh my goodness. And thank you for saying that, Squirrely Burger. You've always got the sharpest comments. Um, so all of these phone pings that they say that he was by their house, now it's looking like these phone pings are not very sharp with precision, right? That he was just like on campus, like somewhere in Moscow, the 12 times. I don't know. I think there's just a lot more information surfacing despite the gag order. Just thinking about Brian was planning on becoming a police officer, and God knows what intentions he would have had. Just thinking about how many people are crazy like Brian. Michael McAllister, you might really enjoy that Hulu miniseries that we were talking about last week. Chance. It's crazy like that. The homicidal homicide detective who you think is so scary, but then you find out he's just one of the pawns, really. And yeah, it's, art reflects reality, right? It's about San Francisco and police corruption in San Francisco, court corruption in San Francisco. And we all know San Francisco is where the Twinkie defense came from. And I've shared with you guys a little bit about the Twinkie defense. So now come to find out that the Twinkie defense is a term that's used meaning a far-fetched defense that will actually work. Something that sounds ridiculous, but it is going to get you off the hook. So yeah, Brian's probably coming up with his little Twinkie defense, right? Oh, there are timings are not registering in our logical brains as far as for all that is the case. Who is the boss running the case? Well, I think it is James Fry is the boss running the case, to my understanding. Um, about fell off the couch on that one. You made me laugh so hard. I'm going to get a new phone. Oops, forgot again. Just hit the like. Oh, thanks, Heavenly Clouds. Thanks for sharing. So, yeah, people, if you don't mind hitting the like, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'll read a few more of the comments here before I sign off. Sifa says, oh, yeah, sorry, Andrews, a lovely person I know with the same last name. They're one and the same. Not sure what you're referring to, Sifa. I missed it. Phone towers ping from miles away. Heather Mosier, thank you. And yeah, I mean, I was under the impression that they could get very precise, like almost exact locations. But now it's not looking that way. Ooh, Heavenly Cloud says, I just got Hulu and I will watch it. Just be warned, it's extremely violent. It's extremely, extremely violent. But I think it is well done. I think it's extremely well done. So I enjoy the caliber of the miniseries, and it's only 2 seasons, so which was unfortunate. I think it was hoping to go further, but got canceled because it wasn't getting enough support. But I think it was one of those sleepers that then people caught on to how cool it was, but it was too late. It was done and dusted. Dilly Owens, I don't know nothing about a Twinkie defense. Well, Google it and we'll talk about it more in the next one because we're already at the end. And it is a case from San Francisco where a couple of political rivals were working late at night, and one of them ate a bunch of Twinkies and killed a couple of his competitors. And then he got off with his Twinkie defense. I mean, he didn't get found not guilty, but he got a much lighter sentence because, all those little chemical cakes just fried his brain and made him kill everyone. What can you do? Could BK be a student learning from an unknown killer? Oh, interesting, Monique. And you guys know that BTK, after his first quadruple unaliving, started taking classes in law enforcement. So, and then he became, I think, a corrections officer, something like that. He started working in law enforcement. And yeah, it's very scary. There certainly are people like that. There are absolutely people like that. Jose Jose Baez did the Twinkie defense. He did, didn't he? Oh man, he pulled off the impossible with that. Absolutely. Meaning they are both Mark Furman and the person I know with the same last name. Oh, so Andrew Furman is another person. Okay, cool. Did not know that. And what series? So the one that we were talking about just now is called Chance, and it's on Hulu. And it's 2 seasons, and it's I think just very kind of intellectual, very intellectually stimulating, a suspense thriller, but extremely violent. Not a lot of like R-rated stuff, except for the violence is like completely over the top, like not quite Game of Thrones violence, but Sopranos type of violence. It's pretty extreme. Um, and I don't like to see that, that stuff can just be implied. I don't need to see all the it's too much sometimes. Um, I will keep one eye open on bad scenes. Yeah, exactly, because it can be pretty twisted. It can be pretty twisted. Anyway, it's that guy Hugh Laurie from House. So a lot of people like Hugh Laurie, and if you like Hugh Laurie, you'll probably like Chance because it's his baby. He was the producer of it, and he stars in it too. So he kind of plays like a bad doctor, like he's got his own issues, like the House guy, but a totally different setup. Um, White Truck, Michael McAllister. Thank you for bringing up White Truck, White Truck, White Truck as we're wrapping up, winding down. Thank you. I'll watch it. Yes. And then we can have discussions about Chance. The other one I really like that I was talking about last week, and it's not nearly as violent but probably more like steamy scenes. Bloodline. And that was a Netflix miniseries that was 3 seasons long and also got canceled before they were expecting. So, but that wasn't because it wasn't doing well. I think it was doing well because that has an all-star cast, but Florida changed their tax break, and so it was just too expensive to be filming out there the Keys. Um, extremely expensive having to fly and boat everything in. Speaking of, if you all haven't seen that O.J. Simpson series, it's well worth the watch. Yeah, I think I saw it when it first came out. The one that it's like 10 1-hour things. Same here, Heavenly Cloud, Kim Maron. So, yeah, real quick on the O.J. Simpson case, because I just find this fascinating, and a lot of people don't realize that there were 2 pool houses outside of the Rockingham estate. So Cato lived in one, and his OJ's daughter Arnell lived in the other. I was talking about this a few weeks ago, and Arnell, his oldest daughter from his first marriage, when he was still married, and I think Arnell was actually like 11, and then there was the brother Jason who maybe was 7. Don't nail me down on those ages, but and then the little new baby girl was it was a month before her second birthday, and she drowned in that swimming pool. And OJ was already seeing Nicole Brown Simpson, and I think he had started seeing Nicole before that 2-year-old unalived baby was even born. But, there's just this whole awful Greek tragedy that was already going on with that family before this horrible situation with Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. But what my point is that nobody ever talks about Arnell being there. Like, again, the Untouchables, right? Like, that's a really good example. So, grr, I wonder, I bet she's not even mentioned once in that entire series. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So, all right, you guys, and let's go ahead and do the wrap. Oh my gosh, you just hit me. We are living in a world of Divergent. What did I hit you with 3 minutes ago? I'm not sure what that was. It just hit me. Okay, you just hit me. It just hit me. What just hit you, Squirrely Burger? Share, share, share. But so yeah, talking about Arnell Simpson being an untouchable, that could well be what we're dealing with for Dylan and or Bethany. Their parents could be extremely well connected. Hulu is a mystery called Watchful Eye, brand new. That is always fun. And yeah, then there's something about like the internet, us folks, that you guys were telling me about last week that I wrote it down, but I don't know where. If you want to say again, if it was somebody that's here that knows what I'm talking about. It was like a brand new thing on Hulu, I think, Hulu. And it's a mini series that's about armchair detectives, basically, right? I have a gut load of OJ. I'm good. Yeah. Have a wonderful day, Michael McAllister says, and Divergent with Jennifer Lawrence. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Jennifer Lawrence is really good. And um Mark Furman lives in Idaho now and was trying to involve himself in the Idaho 4. I know, Sifa, and it totally scared me to pieces. I just thought, my goodness, if he touches it, it'll become crap. I'm so glad that he has not been on it that we know of. I mean, maybe he is, and it's just, being kept on the down low. I sure hope not. Oh, and Kim Warren says, I forgot about that drowning. Yeah, I could pick a year out of thin air, like 1976, but that's kind of out of thin air. It's probably somewhere in the 70s, right? I'm driving. Oh, maybe if we did some math with Nicole's ages, we could figure it out because she was probably 19 when it happened. They'd been dating since she was 17, and we don't know how old she would be now. She was like 34 when she was unalived, and that was like what, 25, 30 years ago. Man, time flies, doesn't it? Anyway, can't edit text when talking. Yes, when you're driving, for sure, definitely. Unlifing, and it sounds like a wet dry. Peace and happiness, you guys. Let's do the old routine. Don't forget to do your exercise and rest and relax and get fresh air and sunshine and good nourishment, high protein, high produce, fruits and veggies, lots of water, and be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Thank you, Justice, for your channel is therapy to me, and thank everyone in the room from the Highlands off Scotland. Oh, that's cool. All the way over there. We would have a bunch of Fifth Amendment rights being asserted by people in this case if he was still involved. That's a good one, Sifa. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, Monique Cole says, I hope he's not helping behind the scenes. Absolutely. All right, you guys, peace out. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to try to start early. I'm going to try to start at 8 because I want to be able to watch Crime Circus Cult live at 9. So I'll put my next video up for an 8 o'clock time frame. So thanks so much for being here. Sending you all light and love. See you next time. Have a great rest of your day.